2025 may prove to be a decisive year for the future of the Canadian Grand Prix in Montreal. Despite the city having a contract that keeps the race here until 2031, the rumors are swirling that F1 may pull the plug. So, how did we get here? Well, let's start by taking a look back. Montreal's connection to Formula One began in 1978 when, on a cold October day, Quebec's own Gilles Villeneuve won the Canadian Grand Prix behind the wheel of his Ferrari, bonding the soul of Montreal to auto racing. Since then, aside from 4 exceptions, the race is off. 1987, when a sponsorship spat between Labatt and Molson breweries canceled the race.
If Canada can't afford the Formula One races, I can't do anything about it.
2009, when the then F1 CEO Bernie Ecclestone pulled the race off the schedule over money.
Yeah, it's a big deception.
And 2020 and 2021, due to COVID, the race has been a showcase of the city that Montrealers are generally proud of. Yes, sir! Yes, sir! That is until last year.
Well, what happened last year was definitely a fiasco.
From mix-ups between organizers, the police, and the city's transit authority that caused issues accessing the site.
Making people exit the circuit, making them come back, it's just a complete disaster and such an embarrassment, quite frankly.
To fans jumping barriers, to rainwater flooding newly renovated paddocks and workspaces.
Honnêtement, j'ai honte.
And the fire department shutting down restaurant terraces in the middle of dinner service over bylaw violations.
Ça n'a pas d'allure, ça n'a pas d'allure. On n'a donc même pas de vision pour notre ville.
The willingness of the city of Montreal to host the Grand Prix and the competence of the race organizers has come into question.
I think we were a victim of a perfect storm last year. Without saying that we were necessarily embarrassed, that is not the way that we want to put our best foot forward.
This as the competition to land a spot on the Formula One calendar grows. Reportedly, Thailand, Vietnam, Argentina, and Morocco all want in.
24 races is pretty much the maximum that the FIA and Formula One are going to be doing. I doubt very, very seriously that there's going to be more races added.
And Canada is no longer the only race in North America. So, could Montreal be cut?
2025 is going to be a big test. Everything will have to be absolutely impeccable, really, really sharp, no mishaps at all. But I'm not sure that that's enough to save the Canadian Grand Prix. I hope it is.
F1, I want to reassure everybody, is here to stay.
The city acknowledges that pretty much everything that could go wrong did go wrong in 2024.
It made us look quite bad, and we've learned from that lesson. And for this year, we've changed a lot of things. We've worked all through the year with the partners, and we're ready.
They give you this in extra, you know.
Restaurant and bar owners say communication with the city is vastly improved. The terraces on Peel Street, for example, are now even permitted to be 5 feet bigger than last year, allowing for more tables and more customers.
So it's going to be one of these beautiful Grand Prix, and we want that to stay in Montreal, definitely.
Meanwhile, François Dumontier, the head of the Grand Prix organizing group Octane Racing, resigned in August, and Formula One has stepped into a more active role on the track.
This is the first year that we've been accompanied by F1 in the way that we have. One of the ways that we've been referring to it for the past little bit is that this is kind of like you've been studying for an exam and now you need to deliver on that. So I wouldn't say that we're feeling the pressure. I'd say that we're incredibly motivated and incredibly stimulated.
Garneau says the F1 hasn't given any indication that it would be pulling the Grand Prix out of Montreal.
We have a contract until 2031 right now, which is good and set in stone.
It's not set in stone. Technically it is, but anything can happen.
Fakin believes 2025 is make or break. And beyond that, the best argument Montreal has to stay is its historical connection to the sport.
Gilles Villeneuve's spirit, please make the race stay on.